Tomorrow is the official day one of the qualifiers for the summer circuit. There is going to be a Saturday tournament and then a Sunday tournament. The only way you advance to Sunday is if you are top 128, including tiebreakers in terms of tournament record when you finish playing on Saturday. Now, you're most likely going to play a total of 6 games, but I'm not 100% positive, but that's usually the standard. It's a Swiss format, day one, where you're playing 3-inning games, best of 1. Whoever goes ahead and wins advances to face others that are 1-0. If you lose the first game, you're going to face others that are 0-1. You are not eliminated. Now, there are restrictions that come to how you can build your team, and we're going to get into that together. All that I ask is, in the meantime, please hit that like button and red subscribe button, and we stream each and every single day on Twitch at 1 a.m. Eastern. It is inside the description box. Now, if you haven't signed up already, you need to be of 18 years of age or older, and the link is staring at you right in the face as soon as you go ahead and open up MLB The Show. And you have until 11:59 a.m. Eastern to sign up, or 8:59 Pacific Time a.m. to sign up as well. Now, the lineup restrictions, it's pretty simple. In terms of position players, they need to be 395 and above, 385 to 94, and then the rest are 84 and below, including your bench. For starting pitchers, it's going to be 295 and above, 185 to 94, and then the rest need to be 84 and below. And then for the bullpen, you get 295 and above, 285 to 94, and then 484 and below. Now, I'm going to go ahead and discuss why I came up with this team and how I came up with this team. So to start it off, 95 and above, you want to use your 3 picks wisely. And the reason I say wisely is Ronald Acuna is a perfect example. I could have wasted a 99 overall pick on Ronald Acuna Jr., but I know in the back of my head that he has a 94 overall card, which will play just as well as that 99 overall card in a 3-inning game. So why waste one of those 99 overall picks when I can just go ahead and get the 94 and balance my team out a little bit better? So instead, what I went ahead and did was my first pick is the hitter that I hit great with no matter where I play. Now, it's on legend pitching and legend hitting. So just know they're going to be abusing sinkers, and everybody is going to be throwing 102 plus. So be ready, be prepared, take your G Fuel, take your pre-workout, take your coffee, whatever it is that's going to allow you to be awake and basically be as full on attentive as possible. That's what you're going to want to take. So the reason we got Chipper Jones as the number 1 95 and above is I hit better than anyone with Chipper Jones. When we're talking about my lineup, there is no player that has a higher batting average with the amount of at-bats than Chipper Jones. So he was my first one. I usually try to do my best to get a good center fielder, a good shortstop, and a good catcher. Those are the 3 that I want to 100% make sure are diamond players and the hitters that I hit best with. But in this case, it's perfectly fine to have an outlier at third base for Chipper Jones. So we're using Chipper Jones as our first 95 and above. Our second 95 and above came from behind the dish. We hit extremely well with Kyle Schwarber, especially on legend difficulty, and he has great contact and great power against both sides on legend difficulty and can 100% play catcher without a problem. So he is our second pick. And then last but not least, I went with center field, Cedric Mullins. I like having a good center fielder out there, and Cedric Mullins has great contact and great power against both sides. He has great speed to make up for the lack of reaction and fielding. So all of that is going to be great. And if you have them paralleled up, you're going to be a little bit more happier. Now, when it comes to the 385 to 94 overalls, my first pick was Ronald Acuna Jr. I absolutely rake with the card, and I do know the 99 overall is available, but if I do extremely well with the 94 as well, why would I waste the pick when I could just go after the 94 overall? Brad Miller, another card that I hit extremely well with. He has great contact. He has great power. He's a utility defender, just in case I ever want to put someone in from the bench as a platoon hitter. I can go ahead and slot Brad Miller wherever I need to, and he has a great swing. And then last but not least, I went with Fernando Tatis Jr. because you want to have a good defensive shortstop and someone that you absolutely rake with as well. And that's Fernando Tatis Jr. for me. And not only that, But if he's playing up tomorrow against lefties or playing up against whoever, that's also going to help his attributes out greatly. Now, when it came to the two golds, at first base, you can pretty much slot anybody, but I went with Yermin Mercedes. He has great contact against both sides, he has great power against both sides, and he has great vision against both sides. Everybody loved this card in the beginning of the game, and I think it's a must-have, but there are a ton of first basemen that you might feel a little bit more comfortable when it comes to hitting, and you can go ahead and put those first basemen out there. And then Bryan Reynolds is my left fielder because I love his swing. I do great with his diamond card on Hall of Fame and Legend difficulty whenever I play with it. So why not use his lower tier gold card as well and put him out there in left field? And if he's playing up tomorrow again, especially against right-handers, he's going to be a-okay against Legend difficulty since he's going to have good contact and good power against right-handers. If he's playing up against lefties, he's just going to be a monster. But regardless, silver fielding, silver reaction, good enough for the outfield, especially with 70 speed. And then here, silver fielding, silver reaction with good speed, good enough. Ronald Acuna, silver reaction, silver fielding, good speed, and great arm strength. My outfield lacks a little bit of arm strength, but it's a 3-inning game. So unless it's a bang-bang play, I'm not too worried because at the end of the day, we have someone like Fernando Tatis Jr. that has 99 arm strength. Now for the bench, it's very important who you pick. But before we get into the bench, let's talk about the lineup. So I have Chipper Jones leading it off for me. Why do I have Chipper Jones leading it off? Because I want my best hitter to have the most at-bats out of anybody. This is a 3-inning game on Legend difficulty. One run could be the deciding blow to go ahead and allow you to advance to the next round. So I need my best hitter to give me the best opportunity the most amount of times. I have Ronald Acuna Jr. hitting second because I need someone to go ahead and protect Kyle Schwarber, since Kyle Schwarber is my next hitter after him. And then I have Yermin Mercedes once again protecting Kyle Schwarber, but at the same time, he also protects Cedric Mullins. And then Fernando Tatis Jr. is not great against left-handers, but that's why Brad Miller comes in and protects Fernando Tatis Jr. just in case they bring in a lefty, which I highly doubt they would want to do regardless. And then Bryan Reynolds protects Brad Miller. So in terms of building the lineup, that's what you want to do in my opinion. You want to get hitters that are great against both sides and that can protect the guy in front of them or behind them. That should always be what's happening. And Chipper Jones basically protects Ronald Acuna Jr. or anybody that I bring off the bench. Now when we're talking about the bench, it's pretty simple what I did here. I used hitters that have great contact and power against one side. And if they have it against both sides, that's even better. For example, Kira Ruiz, he has great contact and power against right-handers, so I'm comfortable putting him against a right-hander. If they bring in a lefty, I'm still comfortable because he's a switch hitter and he's going to have the dominant side and he has that 80 power versus left threshold, which is perfectly fine with me. I have Trevor Larnach playing the bench as well. Great contact and power against left-handers, and then he has great contact and power against right-handers as well. So I'm not going to have an issue if I need him to come in and pinch hit. Now there are going to be better options with better contact and power, but I'm just happy since even if they do bring in a lefty and I don't want to use someone off the bench, let's say we're in extra innings, I can feel comfortable against the left-hander as well. Bo Bichette, great against left-handers in terms of contact, great against left-handers in terms of power. Jesse Winker, everyone should have Jesse Winker on their bench. The contact and power against right-handers, and then if he's playing up against right-handers tomorrow, it's just going to be beautiful. His PCI is going to be enormous, and if you run into one, it's going to be gone. A ton of players use him on Legend difficulty. And then last but not least, Nelson Cruz, the contact and power against right-handers, and if they bring in, or I should say left-handers, and if they bring in a right-hander, he's still going to have good enough power. Now for the starting rotation, my starting rotation is most likely going to be a lot more different than your starting rotation, especially if you have Shohei Ohtani. Like if you have Shohei Ohtani, German Marquez is not even an option for you. It would be Shohei Ohtani basically being the second starting pitcher. And if you have a pitcher like LYLT or any of those 95 and above that I don't have, because I'll show you all my 95 and above, it basically ends with Quinn Priester. So if you have any other 95 and above that throws 99 plus or has outlier, you might want to go ahead and slot them in. I have Jacob deGrom because he has a great arsenal and he also has outlier. I have German Marquez because despite him not having outlier, he still throws the sinker pretty well, pretty hard, and he throws the fastball pretty well, pretty hard, and he has a great arsenal. Now, for the 85 to 94 overall, I'm pretty sure everyone and their mother is going to go ahead and pick Edward Cabrera because Edward Cabrera is one of the pitchers that's difficult to hit. Greg Maddux, he's been great on every single difficulty. Don't expect him to be bad on legend difficulty, especially with all those off-speed pitches. So he is a very solid gold pickup. And then Noah Syndergaard, the reason I have him in here is because he has outlier on that sinker. So that sinker coming in at 98 to 100 miles per hour is really going to go ahead and help me fool the hitters, especially with the off-speed pitches that he has. Now, when we're talking about the bullpen, I started it off with Alex Reyes. And I don't think, unless you have Rich Gossage, the World Series reward, that there is a better 95 and above right-handed relief pitcher than Alex Reyes. Not even Mariano Rivera. This man has outlier on his sinker, and then all of his pitches are dominant. The same thing goes for lefties. It's going to be Gregory Soto. I have two pitchers instantly coming out of the bullpen that have outlier on their main pitch. And the stamina will be refreshed basically each and every single game you entered. So you'll always have a pitcher ready to go with outlier. I'll have Alex Reyes coming off the bench ready with outlier. I have Gregory Soto coming off the bench ready with outlier. I have Zach Britton coming off the bench ready with outlier on the sinker. I have Helris Familia coming off the bench ready with outlier on the sinker. I have Aroldis Chapman coming off the bench ready with outlier on the fastball. And then I'll have Rob Dibble coming off the bench ready with outlier on the fastball. I'll have Jake Diekman. This is the only guy that doesn't have outlier on any of his pitches, but his delivery is very tricky to read. So that's why I have him in there as a lefty. And then last but not least, I have Shane Green. He doesn't throw too hard, but his attributes are insane and they help you out tremendously. This is the team that I came up with. This is the lineup that I came up with, and this is the bench I came up with. Now, if you're not comfortable having these defensive options out there in the outfield and you believe that defense matters over everything, then you can go ahead and slot someone like Ronald Acuna to center field and find a gold left fielder or a gold right fielder and a diamond right fielder or left fielder, whichever one of the two, to go ahead and basically supplement for those guys. But I'm pretty comfortable with the lineup, and it's a 3-inning game. So in a 3-inning game, defense is very important, but I think hitting is the most important thing, because one run on legend difficulty could easily be the reason you go ahead and advance to the next round or stay behind. Now, if you did end up enjoying today's content, all that I ask is for you to hit that like button or subscribe button. Don't forget to go ahead and check out the Twitch each and every single day, 1 a.m. Eastern, along with a bunch of other stuff. It's inside the description. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out.